All right, let's jump right in. Today we're talking about mandalas, but we're going to go way beyond those cool patterns you might be thinking of. We're going to look at three completely different kinds of spiritual maps from Buddhist traditions. One made of words, one that's like a cosmic womb, and another that charts time itself. It's going to be a wild ride. Okay, so when you hear the word mandala, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Seriously, picture it. I'm guessing for a lot of you, it's this incredibly intricate, colorful, geometric design, right? Maybe something from an adult coloring book. And hey, you're not wrong, but that's just scratching the surface.
Yeah, because here's the thing. A mandala isn't always a picture. You've got the visual kind, a map of deities and ideas that we're pretty familiar with, but then you have this other thing, a mandala made entirely out of words. A calligraphic mandala that's more like a mirror for your own devotion. Let's start with that one, because it's pretty fascinating. So, our first stop takes us to 13th century Japan. We're looking at a super unique mandala from a Buddhist reformer named Nichiren. And this thing, it's going to flip everything you think you know about mandalas on its head. It's called the Hanzon. So, what is the Hanzon? Well, it's basically a scroll covered in calligraphy. It's a mandala made only of words. Now, its purpose isn't for you to, read it like a map to get somewhere. Instead, it's a focal point for chanting. You engage with it through your voice, through sound, not just by looking at it. So in this mandala, words do all the work that pictures usually do. Right down the middle in these big, bold characters, you've got the main chant, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. Then all around it are the names of really important figures from a sacred text called the Lotus Sutra. We're talking Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. These are enlightened beings who stick around to help everyone else, and even some protective deities. But here's the cool part. It's not just a list of names. Altogether, these characters actually recreate a huge cosmic event from that sutra known as the ceremony in the air. And this is the key takeaway, right here. The Hanzon isn't a map showing you how to get somewhere. It's more like a mirror, a spiritual mirror that reflects your own inner potential, your own Buddha nature, that gets activated when you chant. It's a call to action telling you to realize that enlightenment right here and now. All right, let's switch gears and look at our second example. This time, we're heading back even further in time, to 9th century Japan, for a mandala that looks a lot more like what we'd expect. It's super visual. This is Kūkai Womb World Mandala, and it's an absolute masterpiece of esoteric Buddhism. The Womb World Mandala, the name itself is pretty evocative, right? It's a painting that shows the entire cosmos, but seen through the lens of compassion. You can almost think of it like a symbolic womb, a nurturing space where all Buddhas and all enlightened actions come from. So let's break down what we're looking at here. Right in the dead center, you have Mahāvairocana, who is the great cosmic Buddha of light. Then, flowing out from him, are 12 different sections, or assemblies, and these are filled with all sorts of beings, bodhisattvas, powerful wisdom kings, various deities. Each one of them represents a very specific quality of compassion or wisdom. It's basically a complete visual instruction manual for meditation. So how do you use this thing? Well, there's a specific practice called the three mysteries. It involves your whole being. First, your body, by making special hand gestures called mudras. Second, your speech, by chanting mantras. And third, your mind, by visualizing yourself right inside the mandala, actually becoming one with that central Buddha. It's a total mind-body experience. Okay, for our last example, we're looking at what might be the most complex and probably the most famous mandala of all, the Tibetan Kālacakra Mandala. And this one, wow. It's not just a map of space or some divine realm. It's a map of time itself and the universe and your own body. It's a lot. The name itself, Kālacakra, literally means wheel of time. You've got Kala, which means time, and chakra, which means wheel or cycle. You've probably seen pictures of these. They're often made from millions of grains of colored sand, just meticulously placed. They're these incredible temporary works of art used for really advanced tantric practices, all designed to help someone see beyond the illusion of linear time. So the big idea behind the Kālacakra is this deep connection between the macrocosm, that's the universe out there, and the microcosm, which is your own human body. The philosophy says that everything that exists out there, the planets, the stars, the elements, it all has a counterpart right inside you, in your body's subtle energies. This mandala is a map of both of those worlds at the exact same time. When you look at the mandala structure, what you're seeing is a really complex 5-story palace. The practice involves visually entering this palace and moving from the outside in. Each level you pass through represents a stage of purification. You purify your body, then your speech, then your mind, until you finally reach the inner sanctums of pure wisdom, and, right at the very heart of it all, a state of great bliss.
Phew. Okay, so we've looked at 3 wildly different tools, right? We had one made of words, one that's a picture of compassion, and one that maps out cosmic time. Let's pull back for a second and put them all side by side to really see what's going on. Yeah, seeing them lined up like this makes the differences pop, doesn't it? You've got Nichiren's mandala using calligraphy for chanting, the Womb World using a painting for visualization, and the Kālacakra using sand or paint for some really advanced stuff. And look at how the role of the person using it changes. You go from embodying enlightenment with your voice to uniting with it in your mind's eye, to literally transforming your body and your relationship with time. 3 totally different approaches, 3 unique paths. But, and this is the beautiful part, for all their differences in style and practice, they're all aiming for the exact same thing. It doesn't matter if you're chanting at a scroll, visualizing a divine palace, or watching a sand painting get swept away. Every single one of these mandalas is a piece of spiritual technology, a tool designed for one single purpose, to help a person wake up. So that leaves us with a final question to chew on. We've seen that a mandala is basically a blueprint for a perfected inner world, which kind of makes you wonder, right? If you had to draw a map of your own mind, of your own inner universe, what would it look like? What would you put right at the very center? It's a pretty deep question to think about. Thanks for exploring this with us.